Hey, this is Jason.
And this is Travis, and we're the QBs on Wheels.
Travis asked me at the beginning of the season if I was into fantasy, and I thought he was talking about dwarves and elves and ogres. But he said, no, fantasy football. I'm like, oh. So, yeah, I'm not the expert. Travis is. So let's hear what Travis has to say about uh, the stats from week 4, or week 3 rather, are in the book. Um, who's been underperforming?
I'm going to go through and give you a couple different players from different positions that are underperforming. I got to start with Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers. He's a high 20s, low 30s every single game, and he hasn't broke the 20s yet. 12 points first week, 14 points second week, 13 points third week in fantasy. And that is because Green Bay's been running the ball more, and they're like never behind, so they never have to like have him save the day. So I get it, but I think that's going to change. They play Philly this week. I think he should open up a little bit more. Um, Running back wise, Devontae Freeman from the Atlanta Falcons. I don't even think he broke 100 yards yet. First week, three points. Second week, 9 points. Third week, 11 points. And like I said, I don't think he broke 100 yards yet. So it's kind of disappointing being a Falcons fan, but I don't know. I'm not sure with their offensive line if that's going to change much. So I don't know if I'd count on him too much. I want to give you two receivers because these guys are on my fantasy team and they have been underperforming. DeAndre Hopkins for the Houston Texans. The first week he killed it, 31 points. But after that, 9 points and 12 points. Has not had a touchdown since the first game, and it kind of seems weird, especially with Deshaun Watson passing the ball. He should be fine. And Devontae Adams, since Aaron Rodgers is underperforming, Devontae Adams is going to underperform. First week, 7 points. Second week, he had over 100 yards with 17 points, and then third week, 9 points. But he had like 13 touchdowns last year, and he does not have a touchdown yet this season. So I was kind of surprised about that. But I think, like I said, I think it'll open up a little bit. Tight end wise, Jared Cook for the New Orleans Saints. Since Drew Brees went down, I don't think it's going to get much better, but he hasn't really performed at all. First week, 5 points. Second week, 2 points. Third week, 1 point. So if you got him, you might want to change up your tight end because I don't know if that's going to change much.
And we've seen a lot of people who probably went in the first and second round of their draft, not only underperforming, but some of them are out.
Yeah.
There's a huge number of quarterbacks that are out, many of them for the whole season. You know, Ben Roethlisberger, Nick Foles, you know, those guys are traditionally picked pretty high, and neither one of them is going to put up a single point.
Yep.
Um, there are some opportunities out there because of that. I think Watson in Houston is one of those that people wouldn't risk drafting him first, um, but as a deeper pick, he he's been doing pretty well. And then there's been the holdouts. I think the one we have to talk about today because it just hit the news is Melvin Gordon. You picked him, right? He was on your original roster.
He is
Uh,
on the fantasy league. Yep.
you kept him on your team, or did
Yep.
you
I
put?
have him on the bench.
Yep. And I was putting our Twitter feed today. That day when you hold out for a bigger contract and your backup is leading the league. Eckler's having a phenomenal season. He was not quite as good this week, but in general, big surprise. Well, poor Gordon's leverage is gone.
Yep.
Not only that, with Eckler doing so well, even if he comes back, which he's talking about coming back this week, but he won't be eligible to play this week. Um, but if he gets back by week 5, um, the reality is he's not going to get as many balls because Eckler's doing so well. So, hopefully for your sake, he'll be back. But will he put up the kind of numbers that you expected? Probably not.
Probably not like I expected, but I think he hasn't been hit this season, so he's a fresh pair of legs. Austin Eckler is more like a receiving running back, so
Yeah.
I think if you have him on your bench, I'd keep him on your bench, Melvin Gordon. Like I did, a lot of people ask me on my league, why'd you keep him? I think he's coming back, and like Jason just said, he's coming back probably this week. He's not going to be able to play this week, but I think they'll work him back into the starting role. It's just Eckler's going to have more of a role now, and if he would have never held out, they wouldn't even known about Eckler, and he would have got more points. So yeah, even though I'm me personally, I'm still going to start him when he comes back. He's not going to have the impact of a fantasy like he would have had before the holdout.
Mm-hmm. The other guy I've been disappointed with is Jared Goff.
Yep.
He has not put up big time fantasy numbers. And at the beginning of the season, he got that massive contract. And so I think expectations about him were raised. They figure, well, if the Rams are going to fork out, $100 million, then maybe he's worth a higher draft pick. But um, I think the contract was too high, and he probably went too soon in the draft. He would be a decent backup because he's healthy. Um, but the reality is that other than disappointments like Drew Brees and Ben Roethlisberger and Nick Foles that are going to miss a lot of time this season, um, his he hasn't put up the numbers that he needs to.
No, and if you guys remember, before Sean McVay came in, Jared Goff really wasn't that great of a quarterback. So McVay came in, he started killing it. But once defenses start figuring out his scheme, I kind of figured Jared Goff wasn't going to be the superstar that he claimed to be when Sean McVay first got there. So that really doesn't surprise me too much. I would never pick up Jared Goff just because of what he did the first couple seasons he was with the Rams before Sean McVay.
Mm-hmm.
But another guy on the Rams that have been down performing is Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley really hasn't been doing Todd Gurley-like stuff either. And I don't know. They play Tampa this week, so maybe this is the week to start Gurley and Goff. But I don't know, man. They've been a disappointment this season.
Well, the Rams in general, I think at the beginning of the season, everybody was looking for the Rams to be the premier offense in the NFC. You had the Chiefs on the AFC and the Rams on the NFC, and I think that people expected them to put up 30, 40 points every single game, and the Chiefs have lived up to the hype. The Rams have not. There are other teams that are performing well.
Yep. The Chiefs are a different breed, though, man. Patrick Mahomes, I don't think we ever seen somebody like Patrick Mahomes. The closest person I can even say to him is Mike Vick. Michael Vick with his mobility, but not even Michael Vick had the accuracy that Patrick Mahomes has. Like he's an amazing guy, man.
My hero this week was Troy Aikman. Don't know if you saw on Twitter, but somebody had produced put a tweet up saying, "Yeah, Patrick Mahomes has done all of this," and he's has achieved all these marks way faster than Troy Aikman. They were comparing him, saying he's so much better than Troy Aikman, and Troy's response was something to the effect of, "Have him call me when he has 3 Super Bowl rings." That's the truth. Troy Aikman was a great general, but he definitely wasn't the best passer in history. He was very accurate, and he was a great team leader, and that's how you get rings. But yeah, I think that uh, Patrick Mahomes is definitely going to get his share of jewelry at some point.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Tell me who are some of the others you're looking at.
I don't know. Alvin Kamara had a good game last week, and with Drew Brees out, I think he's gonna continue to do amazing. Julio Jones, he's been outstanding this year so far, and I'm loving that because everybody always says, well, you could compare him to the best wide receiver in the league, but he doesn't put up the touchdowns like other players do. He has a touchdown in the last 12 games, so he hasn't missed a beat, man. And he's a true professional in my eyes. Like he got a $66 million contract, all of it guaranteed. What does he do? Come back and kicks ass at work. Like he doesn't take a beat off. So
Mm-hmm.
hats off to Julio Jones, man.
Yeah, absolutely. They were saying that it's the longest touchdown streak in the NFL.
Yep.
And that's what you really want on a fantasy team is the guys that contribute every single week, not the guys that put up 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in one game. Yeah, that's gonna feel great that game, but if you're gonna have a team that performs all season, you want guys like Julio Jones that are going to be consistently delivering, and 6 points for a touchdown uh,
Yep.
in every game. That's the difference between a win and a loss so many times.
Yep.
Two guys I want to get your take on uh, because both of them have had performances that are unusual. First, Matt Ryan, your quarterback, all of a sudden has a habit of throwing balls to the wrong team, and that's very alien to him. He was one of the least intercepted quarterbacks the past 2 seasons. And what are your thoughts? Is it a fluke, or is this the sign that Matt's off his game?
I want to say it's a fluke, but I feel like it has something to do with their offensive line. We picked up 2 first-round picks in the draft, and one of them fractured his foot already. So
Mm.
he's getting a lot of pressure up the middle. So I feel like he's not really getting as much time as he needs to. But that's not an excuse. He has 6 interceptions already this season, and he had 7 all of last season. So he's almost to his total already in 3 games. So
Yeah,
ask me that question in another week or two, and I'll tell you if it's a fluke or not. But right now, I'm hoping it's just a fluke. I can't really give you the definitive answer because it's only week 3. But if you
yeah.
give me
Well, if he averages 2 a game the whole season, well, he won't be because he won't have a starting job.
exactly, if
That's
throwing interceptions, he's definitely not gonna. It's not a fluke.
yeah, two a game is definitely something that even the greatest quarterback isn't going to keep his job giving the ball up that often.
Yeah.
The other guy is Case Keenum, and I haven't figured out what to make of him yet. Because the Redskins have been bad, but he has looked decent, and he had not thrown a single pick until last week, and he threw 3. Um, so I don't quite know. Is this the fact that the Redskins are just crumbling, and he was the last to crumble, or is he still a viable fantasy quarterback?
It's kind of like the same thing with the Falcons. Right now, their main defensive tackle, Trent Williams, is in a holdout conflict. So he doesn't have anybody protecting his blind side. So pressure is always going to make quarterbacks do bad mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think Case Keenum has too many people to throw to. You know what I mean? Like, he needs somebody better to throw to, and that's not his fault. So, do I think you should start him with all the injuries to the quarterbacks? Yeah, you should probably pick him up. But at the same time, if you got somebody different, I probably wouldn't pick him up.
All right, question for you: who has a job 3 weeks from now if the Redskins keep losing? Is it Case Keenum still there, or is Jay Gruden still there? Because one of them's got to go.
I think Jay Gruden needs to go because he's not. He doesn't really draft too well. And if all right, so if Case Keenum keeps on having bad games, put in Dwayne Haskins because Case Keenum's an awesome backup. But you can't. What are you going to put Jay Gruden? You're going to fire him. Where are you going to put him? You can't have him in a secondary role. So in my opinion, it'd be Jay Gruden loses his job before Case Keenum does.
Okay. The other guy I wanted to ask you about is Mitchell Trubisky at the Bears. He looked decent last week for the first time. He was a guy that I think a lot of people were also high on. What's your take on him?
He from rookie year to last year, he had a big increase in production. Like, he was actually a decent quarterback. The first 2 games, he really didn't do nothing, and then last Monday night, he did amazing. So I'm kind of 50-50 on him, honestly. I actually have him on my bench because Cam Newton is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have him on my bench. I'm not going to start him over Matt Ryan just yet because I have Matt Ryan also. But if Matt Ryan keeps on throwing these interceptions and Mitch Trubisky keeps progressing little by little, I'm probably going to end up starting Mitch. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about him yet either. He needs to step it up because he only had one good game in 3 games, so he needs to step it up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Last thing, and then we're out. If you have anyone on the Niners or the Jets, you may want to sit them this week because they're not scoring anything.
Yep.
It's the first week of bye weeks, so playing all your starters because until they fall to injury, which has been the story of the first 3 weeks, there's a lot more strategy that you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
My guess is there's not a ton of Jets in the starting lineups, but the Niners have looked good, so you may have a couple of Niners on your roster. You had the Niners kicker, is that right?
Yeah, I have the Niners kicker.
And you who'd you swap him out for?
I picked up Mason Crosby, Green Bay Packers.
Okay. Well, if Green Bay keeps playing like they've been playing, he should get some points up.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Hopefully he gets me at least double digits. That'd be nice.
Sounds good. Well, so this is our Wednesday game. We'll be back early on Thursday because there's a Thursday game to pick our winner in that. We go head to head on Thursdays and Monday nights. So yeah, tune in tomorrow. Find out who wins the coin toss and gets to pick first. I'm 0-4. How did this happen? But must be a bad coin.
Something.
Peace out, everyone.
Peace.